Okay, something tells me that this is going to be an amazing book, and it's not just because my friend recommended it. I'm Mitch, this is the Lit with Mitch online book club. If you're new here, it's never too late to join us. Videos will always be here, which means you can always be part of the book club. We're starting Long Live Evil by Sarah Brennan, and I'm really excited. We've been doing a lot of heavy book stuff lately, so I'm really excited to take a nice break, have something fun and light, and I think that's what this is going to be. I think we're still going to get a great story out of this, but I think we're also going to have a lot of laughter. And that's kind of what I'm after. I wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts and expectations before I dive into this book. To start, we know the main character is going to be a villain, and I'm going to be disappointed if she's like a stereotypical villain and she's kind of playing the dumb role. I want her to be intelligent, I want her to make smart moves, but I also want to laugh while she's doing it. And I feel like we're going to be on very delicate ground here because you don't want to be rooting for the villain to win unless, you know, you're that kind of person, which I'm not going to judge you for. And I feel like a lot of the members of this book club actually kind of are low-key like that. But usually I want the hero to win. I just want them to pay a price to win. It's going to be interesting to be rooting for the villain for once. On top of that, the description kind of makes it sound like there's going to be some romance in the background. I'm usually not a big fan of romance, so I hope it doesn't get too played up. I hope it's there. Like, I love it when it's a side plot, but I don't want it to be the main forefront. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gotta be some other stakes on the line for me to get really involved. It is really interesting that the background kind of talks about how our main character is going to be going into a fantasy world. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out and how the author, Sarah Brennan, navigates that. It could be really gimmicky or it could be done super well. And listen, I trust my friend Moth when she recommends a book, so I'm sure it's not going to be too gimmicky, but I am really excited to see how it's done, and I hope it's done in such a way that keeps me enthralled without it feeling cheap. Let me leave you with a couple questions to consider before we get into this. First, what makes a villain? What makes a good villain? What makes a competent villain? And what makes a villain that you would want to root for? For me, I want the villain to be competent, but I want them to also be quirky and witty, and they have to have good motivation for what they're doing. They can't just be evil because they're evil. Number two, what are you hoping to get out of this book? For me, I'm really hoping it's going to be funny, but also I want a good plot and I want a great break from all the heaviness that we've been dealing with in the past. And the last question, what are you expecting from the setting? I think it's going to be really interesting that it's taking place in a book. Like, we know our main character is going to go into a book. It's on the back of the book. There's no mystery there. So what are you expecting for the setting? For me, I've already mentioned it can be really gimmicky, and I really hope that Sarah Brennan does not make it gimmicky. I hope it's a great way to tell the story. We know that our main character should be going into this world with a little bit of knowledge that the rest of the characters don't have, so I'm going to be disappointed if our main character doesn't use that to her advantage, but I'll also be disappointed if it's very linearly played out and everything's already written in stone and nothing surprising happens. Then that'll kind of dull the story. So these are the things that I'm like looking out for and a little wary about, but I'm sure she's going to do a great job. This is a book club, so let's discuss. Let me know your thoughts and expectations, some opinions you've got down below. Go ahead, feel free to answer the questions that I posted. Let's have a discussion. Let's get to talking. And as always, thanks for being part of the book club.